What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are back with another 5000 IQ strategy, and I'm gonna show you how you can one-shot the first and the second mutant nodes on Doom 3, the raid, and I'm also going to show you how you can sack and then do some damage to this boss node, so it makes very easy on your alliance. This is extremely important because a lot of alliances are getting stuck on the mutant nodes and they are just doing one lane, and this is going to be the solution, 5000 IQ solution. And no, of course not, I don't have 5000 IQ, only 145, and that's it. Okay, so very excited about this. So if you like the information on this video, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. Make sure you share it with your alliance, because this is going to be huge in terms of improvements on your energy consumption. This will allow, this is the strategy you need in order to get on top of those raid leaderboards, so you can get more T4s every 2 weeks at the end of the season. So once again, if you like the information, and you will like, it's 100% guaranteed you will like it. So make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, join the Discord, and share it with your friends. Once again, Discord, Facebook, everywhere where you communicate with your alliance. Some people use WhatsApp. Okay, so we are going to talk about the characters that you need, and even the characters that you need, I'm sure that a lot of people will be excited about it. So we are going to talk about the characters you need, the ISO weight, the position of the characters, also very important, and then we are going to take a look at each of the nodes and exactly what you have to do in order to do this. We are also going to take a look at some of the mistakes I did and where you can improve upon. Okay, so let's get started, and one message of appreciation to my alliance. My alliance gave me the permission, gave me the freedom to be able to do this, so I want to say thanks to them for the opportunity. Otherwise I would not be able to come up with this new strategy. And that's it, and shout out to all the other content creators that don't like me, because I always have the 5000 IQ strategies. But let's get started. So let's take a look at the mutants that we have and which mutants we are going to use for this. So which mutants are we going to use? Are we going to use the Weapon X? Are we going to use the Marauders? No, we are not going to use any of them. We are going to use X-Men characters, and one of the X-Men characters that we are going to use, one of the main characters, is going to be Jubilee. Yes, unfortunately we still need Jubilee, and she's very important. She has that passive that gives additional damage and additional speed to other astonishing X-Men characters. She has the stun, she has this ability of spreading negative effects around. Thanks for the sub, everyone does that, everyone should do that if you are watching this video. So you need the stun, you need the special to spread negative effects around, and she has that useful blind as well. The best ISO weight for her has to be Skirmisher, and you don't need to invest steel gear on her. It's more important to get her to level 90 than it is to invest steel gear. So as I always say, get to the highest level possible, and if that is still not enough, then you spend the gear. Level up first, gear after. And if they do their job, don't waste gear, because it's not necessary. If you are done with Dark Dimension 5, you don't have to gear up unnecessary characters. Okay, so Jubilee is going to be our first character. Now, our second character is going to be Rogue. I always said that Rogue and Jubilee was a match made in heaven, and the reason why it's because of her special. She applies tons of negative effects to the enemies, to one specific enemy, and then you are able to spread those negative effects around. And that makes this combination of Jubilee and Rogue amazing. Then she has this stun, which is very important because it has 100% additional focus. So one character that has defense up, usually Jubilee doesn't have enough focus to stun that character. You can do the stun with Rogue instead. Also, you want to use a Skirmisher ISO weight on her, because even with this additional focus that she gets on her ultimate, it's still not enough, so it's going to be convenient for you to have the Skirmisher ISO weight in order to guarantee that you apply all the negative effects that you want. Rogue is also very useful with her basic because there are a lot of characters with barrier. You have Negasonic, you have Strife, and you have a lot of characters with fortified isolate. So it's going to be crucial for you to have the Rogue basic or use it often enough to remove that barrier. Okay, now the other characters that we are going to talk about, we are going to talk about Beast, of course. Beast, one of the best X-Men characters, not only because he has amazing special, deals damage, clears negative effects, and also heals, also because he has the ultimate that gives energy. Once again, thanks for the subscribing, make sure you do that. Like, if you are watching this video, you should subscribe, because this is where you get the 5000 IQ strategies. Okay, so special ultimate, very, very important, and this not only affects Astonishing X-Men and Uncanny X-Men, it also affects characters that are Blaster, Controller, Protector, and so on. In terms of isolate, I like to use him as a healer. You could use him as a skirmisher if you have him with more red stars than I have, but I think overall healer is the best option. And as you can see, you don't have to spend teal gear on Beast. Orange gear is just fine. Get him to level 90, that's the priority. Okay, so the next character we are going to take a look at is Iceman. I always told you, Iceman is going to be a very long-lasting character because of the passive effects that he provides. Not only gets a ton of barrier, every time someone applies slow to an enemy, increasing his survivability, but also he does piercing damage when enemies have their turn, and it lowers the armor of the enemies by 20% if they have slow. On top of that, it also reduces the damage of enemies if they have slow. So it's extremely important that you use Iceman in raids. This is going to increase your damage potential by lowering the armor of the enemies, and it's going to increase your survivability because lowering the damage is increasing your mitigation. Okay, so in terms of isolate, you want to do skirmisher because once again, this team has a lot of problems with focus, so you want to make sure that you land all the slows. With the basic is fine, and you're going to do the basic quite often, but when you do the ultimate or the special, which applies stun on a 3 energy cooldown, it's going to be very, very important that you can actually land it with Iceman. And finally, we have the last character, and which is going to be the last character? Which is going to be the last character? Is it going to be Bishop? Is it going to be Emma Frost? Is it going to be Kitty Pryde? Is it going to be Omega Red? No, none of those characters. And I think this is going to make a lot of people excited and happy about it. It's going to be Gambit. Yes, Gambit is the raid solution. Gambit is the 5000 IQ option. And this guy completely changes how the Astonishing X-Men team works because of his passive. His passive gives 25% HP to all X-Men characters. This means that his passive updates the Astonishing X-Men from MSF Meta 2.0 to MSF Meta 3.0. MSF Meta 2.0 characters have around 600,000 HP, and this, with this extra boost, it's going to get them to around 800,000 plus HP. So this is going to be extremely important. On top of that, he has massive amount of damage that he provides with his abilities, and he also has additional synergies with Rogue that gives them more survivability. So this is going to be very convenient since we are also going to use Rogue on this team. On top of that, he has this ability that applies Disrupt. It can be very, very convenient when you are facing dark old enemies or Marauder characters where Strife is taunting all the time. And then we have also the ability block and tons of bleeds and heal block that also comes from his basic and from his passive that you can spread around with Jubilee. In terms of isolate, Raider is going to be the best option because it will trigger his passive that gives him evade, and whenever he has evade he has more crit damage and crit chance. And on top of that, you need the damage potential. It's going to be very important, the damage potential. And on the video you are going to take a look at, I used him as a skirmisher, and you will see that I will time out because I use him as a skirmisher, because I was testing out if there was a secondary option, but no, the Raider is definitely the best option. Okay, so those are the characters that we are going to use. We have right here the team, and the position of the characters is extremely important. The position of the characters is extremely important. You want Gambit to be as far away as possible from Rogue, and you want Beast to be next to him. The reason why you want him to be so far away from Rogue, it's because he has that evade. If he loses the evade with any splash damage, he's going to lose a lot of damage. And you also don't want him to be in the middle, because that's also where you get more splash damage. Now Rogue, she has a very cool feature that she taunts whenever any character that is X-Man drops below 50% HP, similar to Bishop. And you want Iceman to be next to Rogue, because he's the one that gets the barrier. So once again, not only he has increased HP because of Gambit's passive, he's also going to get additional barrier, increasing his survivability, so he can take the splash damage that Rogue is going to have on her face. Okay, so once again, team position extremely important. And now we are ready to start and take a look at these nodes and how exactly we have to kill the enemies in order to be successful and be able to one-shot every of these nodes. Okay, so let's get started, and once again we are going to take a look at the kill order and also some of the mistakes I did, so on your next run you don't have to make these mistakes. And as I mentioned before, like, this is going to be extremely important for your alliance, because it will allow you to save a lot of energy and also go further into the raid, get more experience on the skill nodes, the tech nodes, and so on, and that's it. I'm also testing a new strategy for the bio nodes, but we'll talk about that in the future. As I mentioned before, make sure you subscribe and share it with your alliance. Okay, so we are going to use the basic in order to remove that taunt, and then you want to apply slow to everyone. You want to clear those evades. Now, it's going to be very important that you apply these negative effects to Strife. Usually I recommend Philavel, but Strife is the answer, because he has the trauma and because he doesn't get additional resistance outside of Alliance Wars. That's the way to go. Okay, so now we have the ability block with the Gambit. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the basic or the special. Okay, so I'm going to use the special to ability block Mr. Sinister, because we don't want Mr. Sinister to clone Rogue. If he clones Rogue, that's going to be a huge problem. So we stun Philavel with Jubilee, and then we stun Moondragon with Rogue, and like this everyone is under control. Now you can see that Strife is so low that it's going to allow us easily to share those negative effects around, so make sure that or you use the basic or use the ultimate with Beast. Otherwise, you are going to kill Strife and you lose all those negative effects. So we are going to remove Philavel, and then we are going to spread those negative effects around. And you can see that now we have everything under control. Everyone has slow, everyone has defense down, so that is going to allow us to do tons and tons of damage and be safe all around. Okay, so now we just have to destroy these enemies. There is nothing else we have to do. And now we have Emma Frost and Madeline Pryor. So you want to stun Madeline Pryor as fast as you can, if you can. Because the mistake I made here is that I'm trying to apply blind to Madeline Pryor, but that actually doesn't do anything. What you have to do is to stun her. You have to apply ability block to Emma Frost if you can, or stun her as well, or kill her. It's even better to kill her. But Madeline Pryor, she's very, very annoying because she mind controls other characters. So even if you apply blind to other characters, that's irrelevant because she's mind controlling them. So you need to apply blind to the characters she's mind controlling. So the best option is to just stun her and it's over. Okay, so here I'm going after Emma Frost, and this is one of the mistakes I made. I ignored the Madeline Pryor too much. I should have stunned her and finished the job. And because of these mind controls that she's doing, she's going to kill my beast. So it's a big deal. Okay, so just with the passive attacks from Gambit, we are killing everyone. So that's a big deal. Here it's where I should have stunned Madeline Pryor and I didn't. And this is going to give us passive damage from her attacks that is unnecessary. So this time I tried to stun, it was resisted, that's fine, so there is nothing we can do about it. And now we are going to slap all those Negasonics, and we don't even have to worry about them, because Negasonic, she's extremely slow character, so as long as you apply slow and offense down to them, you can just ignore them. And then the barrier, you just remove the barrier with Rogue. Okay, so even with Beast dead, we are doing this. Madeline Pryor finally gone. Once again, prioritize her. This is one of the mistakes that I did. Try to stun her to stop her passive attack. And then you have nothing to worry about. So you can see 1 minute and 24 left, and this was still on my experiencing mode, so you can improve in terms of speed a lot more. So now let's take a look at node number 2. Okay, so let's take a look at node number 2, and yes, we had to revive a beast and we had to heal up a few characters. Once again, prioritize those Madeline Priors, slow them and then stun them. You have 3 stuns on this team, very important. Ability block and blind, it's not gonna work on Madeline Prior, it has to be the stun. So we are going to get started. Okay, so in terms of isolate, you can see right here on the previous video I use Raider. Now I'm going to use Skirmisher. I was just going to see if it makes a difference in terms of applying the negative effects to the enemies, but you'll see that it didn't, and in terms of damage output it really compromised the Gambit. So this is definitely something that you don't want to experience. Go with the Raider, that's going to be the best option, final option. Okay, so let's get started on this node. And once again, because of the additional HP that Gambit provides to the team, the Astonishing X-Men are way more capable of surviving. And there you can see that Rogue, she had a taunt because Jubilee went too low. So now you're going to apply slow to everyone, and you want to stun Anti-Venom, and you don't want to do the ultimate like I did with the Beast. You don't want to do that. You want just to use his basic or his special. Then you want to stun or turn rewind that Anti-Venom. You don't want him to have any turns because he's going to remove negative effects from your enemies. Now here I used the ultimate from Gambit, and it was unnecessary. You can just use the special. But I thought I was saving the special in order to apply ability block to some character. It was not necessary. I ended up applying ability block to Strange Supreme, but it was mostly irrelevant, so you can just forget about that and use his special or his basic. Okay, so we are going to try to flip that defense up on Strange Supreme into defense down. Unfortunately it didn't work out, but that's fine. So I used the special here, irrelevant. I could have just used the special on the previous attack and then do it again, because the ultimate is going to be convenient when all those enemies drop on the second and third wave. Okay, so we keep attacking everyone else, and Deathpool here comes with all those negative effects and so on, and this is why, once again, the HP that Gambit provides to the team is a solution for these raid nodes. Okay, so Drax with a taunt, he has Disrupt, so nothing to worry about. Agatha, I was not able to apply Disrupt to her, but she's still annoying. You have to remove Deadpool and Agatha, otherwise if you fail to do this and you want someone to clean up, if you have Deadpool and Agatha at the same time, it's literally impossible. So don't do that. Deadpool, you have to remove it by 100%. Okay, so here I'm using the basic of Strange Supreme for some reason. I'm using the basic from Gambit on Strange Supreme for some reason. So we have the second wave and we have the third wave. Yikes. So now we are going to apply slow to as many characters as possible. If you can apply the blind, that's great. But what's really important is to have the speed advantage. So you want to slow. Then you do the ultimate with Beast, and now it's when the party starts. So we are going to stun Wong with Rogue, because he has the defense up and she has that additional focus. Then with Jubilee you want to stun Kestrel. So everyone is under control, everyone has slow, everyone has offense down. Now what you want to do is to stun or blind Ghost Rider. So now when you do the big damage with your other characters, Ghost Rider doesn't kill your entire team. Okay, so here I was very unlucky, the evade got removed, and once again I have Skirmisher isolate on Gambit, that's why the damage will look a little bit underwhelming. But he's going to slap all those people at the same time, and then we are going to use Jubilee's special in order to spread negative effects around, those bleeds that Gambit applies and everything else in between. We failed to do that. Once again we are lacking the damage from Gambit, from him being a raider. And doesn't matter, we keep slapping everyone. We have 3 characters with stun, and now we are going to stop Cloak, This ability, the ultimate here, the special here is unnecessary, because if you have the damage from Gambit, it's not going to be relevant. You can kill Cloak way before he does any of his abilities. Either way, you can still have some time to recover those cooldowns, because Rogue, she has speed up and she goes like super fast. But we are going to finish off those two guys in the middle, Cloak and Sharon Carter. You can see that Ghost Rider is blinded, so his passive attack is not doing any damage to us. And now Dagger, she is coming with her special, and this is annoying because she's healing up, but it's not a big problem overall. It actually gives you a little bit more time to get your cooldowns. And you can see that we are going to time out. Once again, it's because I didn't use the Raider ISO 8 with Gambit, and also I didn't have any reason to use his ultimate on the first turn. But we are going to finish off this Ghost Rider, we are going to finish off this Dagger, and then we are going to finish off Kestrel and Wong. Nothing to worry about there, we are just going to put auto basic. So there you go, this is the amazing strategy, 5000 IQ strategy, in order for you to one-shot the second node, which is the hardest node, probably the hardest node on the Doom 3 raids. And that's what you have to do. You have to use Gambit, you have to use the abilities on certain orders, and you can save the ultimate to blow up the enemies on the second and third wave. But even if you don't, you can still do fine with just using the special. Just don't be conservative about it. So you'll see here we are just going to slap both of those two characters. But let's jump this and let's take a look on how you should sack the boss node in order for you to have a very easy time after with the rest of your alliance. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how exactly I'm going to sack this. And I mentioned this in my alliance a few days ago, and they tried it out and they said it works every time. And it's very helpful, because the first wave of the enemies is like literally impossible to survive. So this is going to be extremely helpful. So what you want to do? You want to use Mr. Sinister, you want to use Kitty Pryde, you can use Madeline Pryde, it doesn't really matter. But what you need, what you really need is Strife, Mr. Sinister and Kitty Pryde. Those three characters you need to sack, and you'll see why after. Then you just add two additional characters that you have that are beefy enough. I don't recommend for you to take Weapon X, because in case you lose your team, it's better to use Weapon X to do some damage rather than wasting them on sacking. Strife, Mr. Sinister and Kitty Pryde are must-have to sack this node. Okay, so pay attention. We have this big damage from Zemo, and Strife is going to taunt right away. This will allow the Silver Surfer enemy and whatever to attack Strife, and sometimes they die, other times they don't. What doesn't die is Kitty Pryde. So you can see that she's going to consume all those attacks from Cersei, from Emma Frost and from Madeline Pryor. So this is the way you can sack the node, and then you can take whatever team you want. After you sack the node, I usually go with my Weapon X. I usually go with my Weapon X and do a Weapon X plus Emma Frost, and kill the enemy Emma Frost, kill the enemy Madeline Pryor, and kill the enemy Cersei. And then your teammates clean up very easily, because after Emma Frost is gone, you have a very easy time. But this time let's take a look using exactly the same team. And this is a great team, because Astonishing X-Men were characters that you had to gear up in the past, and you don't have to gear them up anymore. Gear tier 15, level 90, that's going to be enough for them. And Rogue and Gambit were two characters that are must-have. You need to gear them up because of the Apocalypse sagas. So it's good that you can actually use these characters that you must gear up in order to use them in raids. Okay, so as I mentioned, I usually don't second attack. After I sack, I usually use Weapon X and Emma Frost in order to destroy the enemies. But this time I was trying to use the same team just to see how far they can get. I'm not exactly sure if I played properly, but we did decent enough. So Emma Frost, she already used a special, so she's not going to clear the negative effects from everyone else. This mind control can be a little bit problematic. You really want to land those offense downs and slows on the enemies, otherwise the mind control is going to destroy you. and then you are just going to slap, and that's it. The ultimate from Gambit is unavoidable, so even if he is blinded, you can use that in order to slap on the enemies. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. Once again, I prefer to, after sack, use the Weapon X plus Emma Frost to destroy the enemies. I don't have that video here today, but I can show you that another day if I have like full video or whatever. So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the 5000 IQ strategy for the mutant lane, probably the hardest lane, or at least we thought it was the hardest lane until this point. But as you can see, if you use the Gambit and Rogue together with the Astonishing X-Men, you have a very solid team in order to deal with these nodes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this strategy. And as always, if you find the information on these videos helpful, make sure to share them with your friends, with your alliance mates on Facebook, Discord, WhatsApp, and so on. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, always with the best strategies. If you want to find good strategies, ways of playing the game that allows you to save money and be still successful, this is the place where you can find it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to smash that like button once again, and yeah, I will catch you guys later. Take care.